Once upon a time, in a small village deep at the base of a mountain, there was an old woman who lived alone. Her husband had died, and her son was now grown and moved away, so she was left to do all the housework and farming herself. One day, she received a letter from her son. But because the woman grew up in a poor family, she spent her childhood working and never learned to read. She went out to the road to wait for a passerby in hopes that they could read the message for her. Luckily, a samurai just so happened to be passing by. The woman ran up to him and begged him to read the letter for her. Despite the woman asking for such a small request, the samurai refused to help and continued walking along the path. The woman ran after him and explained that the letter was from her son. She needed to read it. What if her son was sick or had gotten himself into some trouble? She had to know. Reluctantly, the samurai agreed and took the letter. After a few moments, tears began to well in his eyes, and he started to cry. The woman knew that this meant the letter contained bad news, so she started crying too. Just then, a craftsman walked by and noticed the samurai and the woman. After watching them cry for a few moments, he began to cry as well. Next, a fisherman walked by and asked why the three people were crying. The craftsman explained that seeing the others cry reminded him of the last time he took his plates to the market and tripped on a rock, causing all of his plates to break and for weeks of work to be wasted. He looked down, embarrassed for the reason behind his crying. The fisherman then turned towards the samurai and asked him why he was crying. The samurai then begrudgingly admitted that he never learned how to read and was ashamed. He looked at the paper one more time and started crying again. In reality, the letter said that the son had found a job in the city that was paying him well, and soon he would have enough money to come back home. When he finally did return, his mother ran out of the house to greet him, so happy to see him again. Now knowing that her son was safe, she laughingly told him about how much confusion his letter had caused. The mother and son, now reunited, lived happily ever after.